Imagine a world on the brink of change. The year is 1770. Revolution hangs in the air, a storm brewing across Europe. In the heart of this tumultuous era, a genius is born, Ludwig van Beethoven. Not a king nor a general, but a musician destined to wield a power unlike any other. His weapon? Not swords or muskets, but melodies and harmonies capable of shaking the very foundations of the human soul. This is the story of Beethoven, a journey through his life and music, a testament to the enduring power of human creativity. To understand Beethoven, we must first understand his world. Picture the late 18th century, a time of radical change, of revolution and upheaval. The American Revolution was underway, challenging the established order. The French Revolution loomed, promising liberty, equality, and fraternity. In the midst of this societal earthquake, a new era was dawning, the Age of Enlightenment. This spirit of revolution, of questioning and pushing boundaries, permeated every aspect of life, including music. Even today, centuries after his final breath, Beethoven's music retains an astonishing power. His symphonies, his sonatas, his concertos, they are not relics of a bygone era, but living, breathing works of art that continue to electrify and move audiences worldwide. Close your eyes and imagine the soaring melodies of his Fifth Symphony, the delicate beauty of the Moonlight Sonata, the raw emotional power of his Ninth Symphony with its iconic ode to joy. These are not just musical compositions, they are sonic tapestries woven from the very fabric of human experience. Beethoven's music is a testament to the enduring power of art to transcend boundaries and touch the very core of our being. But Beethoven was more than just a composer. He was a complex and fascinating individual whose life was as dramatic as his music. Born in Bonn, Germany, into a family touched by both musical talent and personal tragedy, he displayed extraordinary musical gifts from a young age. He navigated the cutthroat world of court musicians, patrons, and rival composers, ultimately rising to become one of the most celebrated figures of his time. Yet, his life was also marked by profound hardship. He grappled with the crushing realization of his own encroaching deafness, a fate that would have silenced a lesser artist. But Beethoven refused to be defined by his affliction, channeling his struggle into his music, pushing the boundaries of composition. The seed of genius, birthplace, and family roots. In the heart of Germany, nestled along the Rhine River, lies the city of Bonn. Known for its charming squares, Baroque architecture, and vibrant cultural scene, Bonn in the 18th century was a world away from the grandeur of Vienna, the musical capital of Europe. Yet it was in this unassuming setting that one of music's most towering figures, Ludwig van Beethoven, would first open his eyes to the world. Beethoven's family, though not wealthy, carried within them the seeds of musical talent. His grandfather, also named Ludwig van Beethoven, had been a respected musician, holding the esteemed position of Kapellmeister at the court of the Elector of Cologne. A melody-filled childhood, early signs of brilliance. From his earliest years, young Ludwig was surrounded by music. The sounds of his father's singing, the melodies emanating from the court chapel, the vibrant folk music that filled the streets, all these sonic tapestries wove themselves into the fabric of his childhood. It was evident from the start that little Ludwig possessed an extraordinary gift. His tiny hands, barely able to grasp the keys, could coax surprising melodies from the clavier. His ear, attuned to the nuances of sound, could detect the slightest discord. Johann, recognizing his son's prodigious talent, wasted no time in nurturing this budding genius. The weight of legacy, a father's aspiration, a son's burden. Johann's ambition for his son knew no bounds. He envisioned Ludwig following in the footsteps of the great Mozart, captivating audiences across Europe with his virtuosity. Stories of Mozart's childhood triumphs, his tours across the continent as a child prodigy, filled Johann's conversations, fueling his aspirations for his own son. However, this intense pressure came at a cost. Johann's strictness, his relentless drilling, often stifled the very creativity he sought to cultivate. Despite the challenges, Ludwig persevered, honing his skills and absorbing the musical knowledge imparted by his father and other local musicians. A time of upheaval, revolution, and transformation. While young Ludwig toiled away at his musical studies, the world outside Bonn was undergoing a dramatic transformation. The American Revolution had sent shockwaves across Europe, inspiring new ideas about liberty, equality, and the rights of man. The French Revolution was brewing, fueled by social inequality and a yearning for change. These seismic shifts in the political landscape did not leave Bonn untouched. Young Ludwig, though absorbed in his musical world, could not remain untouched by the spirit of the times. Budding, prodigy, mentors, and early recognition. As Ludwig's musical abilities blossomed, he began to attract the attention of other musicians in Bonn. One such individual was Christian Gottlob Niefer, the court organist, and a man of considerable musical talent. Recognizing the young boy's extraordinary potential, Niefer took Ludwig under his wing, becoming a mentor and a guiding force in his musical development. Unlike Johann's harsh methods, Niefer's approach was one of encouragement and inspiration. Under Niefer's tutelage, Ludwig delved deeper into the works of Bach, Handel and Haydn, immersing himself in the rich tapestry of Baroque and classical music. Vienna beckons, a young musician's journey. By the late 1780s, Ludwig van Beethoven's reputation as a prodigious talent had spread beyond the confines of Bonn. For those who dared to dream big, there was only one destination worthy of such talent: Vienna. Vienna, the imperial capital of the Habsburg Empire, was a city pulsating with music. It was a magnet for the greatest composers, musicians, and patrons of the arts. A place where fortunes could be made and lost on the strength of a melody or the turn of a phrase. In 1787, at the age of 17, Beethoven embarked on his first journey to Vienna, a trip that would forever change the course of his life. The patronage system, navigating the world of aristocratic support. The world of music in the late 18th century was vastly different from the world we know today. Composers and musicians, even those of exceptional talent, relied heavily on the patronage of wealthy aristocrats for their livelihood and their ability to showcase their work. Vienna, with its concentration of noble families vying for prestige, was the epicenter of this patronage system. Young Beethoven, arriving in Vienna with little more than his talent and ambition, quickly realized the importance of securing a patron. Early triumphs, first compositions, and public acclaim. With Waldstein's support, Beethoven was able to secure a number of prestigious pupils from among the Viennese nobility. Teaching, though not his true passion, provided a steady income and allowed him to further establish himself within the city's musical circles. More importantly, it gave him the freedom to compose, to explore the uncharted territories of his own musical imagination. Beethoven's early compositions, while still rooted in the classical tradition of Haydn and Mozart, hinted at the revolutionary force he would soon unleash upon the world. A growing reputation, Beethoven as virtuoso and composer. As Beethoven's fame as a composer grew, so too did his reputation as a virtuoso pianist. His performances were legendary, characterized by their raw power, technical brilliance, and emotional depth. Audiences were captivated by his intensity, his ability to transport them to another realm through the sheer force of his playing. Unlike some of his contemporaries, Beethoven did not shy away from technical challenges. He embraced them, pushing the limits of what was considered playable on the piano. Beethoven's growing reputation as both a virtuoso and a composer led to increased demand for his time and his talents. Echoes of revolution, the spirit of change in Beethoven's music. The late 18th century was a time of profound change and upheaval. The American and French revolutions had sent shockwaves across Europe, challenging the established order and inspiring new ideas about liberty, equality, and the rights of man. Beethoven, though not directly involved in politics, was deeply affected by the spirit of the times. The ideals of the Enlightenment, the emphasis on reason, individual expression, and the pursuit of happiness resonated deeply within him. He saw in music a powerful force for change, a means of expressing the full range of human emotion from the depths of despair to the heights of joy. He believed that music had the power to transcend social barriers, to unite people from all walks of life in a shared experience of beauty and transcendence. This spirit of change, this yearning for freedom and expression, found its way into Beethoven's music. His compositions, while still grounded in the classical tradition, began to exhibit a boldness, a dramatic intensity, and a willingness to break with convention that set him apart from his contemporaries. His music became a reflection of the times, a testament to the human spirit's capacity for both great joy and profound sorrow, and a powerful expression of the enduring human desire for freedom and self-expression. The cruel thief of sound, the onset of deafness. Imagine a world slowly fading to silence, the symphony of life diminishing to a muffled whisper. For Ludwig van Beethoven, this was not a nightmare but a devastating reality. In the prime of his life, at the height of his creative powers, the cruel hand of fate dealt him a blow that would have shattered a lesser artist. His hearing, the very essence of his being, began to fail. The first signs were subtle, easily dismissed as the stresses of a demanding career. A ringing in the ears, a difficulty discerning soft sounds, a tendency to mishear conversations. These were the insidious whispers of a thief stealing away his most precious gift. As the years progressed, the whispers grew louder, the silence more profound. The realization of his impending deafness filled Beethoven with a sense of dread and despair. Music was his lifeblood, his solace, his means of communication with the world. To lose his hearing was to lose a fundamental part of himself, to be cut off from the very source of his inspiration. Yet, in the face of this devastating adversity, Beethoven refused to surrender. He would fight for his music, for his art, for his right to express the full spectrum of his genius, even as the world around him faded to silence. Isolation and despair, the composer's internal struggle. The encroaching silence brought with it a profound sense of isolation. Beethoven, once a vibrant presence in Viennese society, withdrew into himself, shunning social gatherings and avoiding conversations he struggled to follow. The fear of being exposed, of being pitied, of being seen as anything less than the musical giant he knew himself to be, gnawed at his soul. He poured his anguish and frustration into his music, his compositions becoming a reflection of his inner turmoil. Gone were the light-hearted melodies and playful themes of his earlier works, replaced by a brooding intensity, a sense of struggle and defiance. His music, once a source of joy and inspiration, now mirrored the darkness that threatened to consume him. In 1802, at the age of 31, Beethoven retreated to the quiet village of Heiligenstadt, seeking solace in the tranquility of nature. It was here, in a moment of profound despair, that he penned a heart-wrenching document known as the Heiligenstadt Testament. Addressed to his brothers, but intended for posterity, The testament laid bare the composer's anguish, his fear, and his unwavering determination to overcome the challenges fate had thrown his way. A heroic struggle. Music as salvation. The Heiligenstadt Testament was Beethoven's declaration of war against despair. It was a testament to the human spirit's ability to find strength in the face of adversity, to choose hope over despair, to embrace life even when it seemed determined to break you. Beethoven emerged from his period of isolation with a renewed sense of purpose, his spirit tempered by fire, his resolve unwavering. He would not allow deafness to define him, to silence his voice, to extinguish his creative fire. He would compose, he would create, he would share his gift with the world, even if it meant conducting entire symphonies in his head, unable to hear the orchestra's thunderous response. Music became his salvation, his refuge from the storm raging within. Beethoven's music took on a new depth, a raw emotional power that resonated deeply with audiences. His symphonies, his sonatas, his concertos, they were no longer mere entertainment for the Viennese elite. They were battles fought and won, expressions of triumph over adversity, testaments to the indomitable spirit that burned within him. Defiance in the key of D minor, the birth of a masterpiece. In 1804, just 2 years after his retreat to Heiligenstadt, Beethoven unleashed upon the world a symphony like no other. The Symphony No. 5 in C minor, Opus 67, known for its iconic four-note opening motif, was a bold declaration of defiance, a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome even the most daunting obstacles. The symphony's opening movement, a tempestuous outpouring of raw emotion, is often interpreted as a musical depiction of Beethoven's struggle with his deafness. The relentless pounding of the timpani, the soaring melodies, the dramatic contrasts, they all speak to the composer's inner turmoil, his anger, his frustration, his refusal to surrender to fate. Yet, within the symphony's dramatic arc, there is also a sense of hope, a glimmer of light amidst the darkness. The second movement, a lyrical and contemplative respite, suggests a moment of reflection, a search for inner peace. The third movement, a scherzo with a hint of defiance, builds to a triumphant climax, as if Beethoven is gathering his strength for the final confrontation. Love, loss, and the immortal beloved, a search for connection. Despite his growing deafness and his tendency towards isolation, Beethoven craved human connection. He fell in love, often passionately, but his relationships were often fraught with difficulty, hampered by his social awkwardness, his volatile temper, and his growing sense of isolation. One of the most enduring mysteries of Beethoven's life is the identity of his immortal beloved, the recipient of a passionate and heart-wrenching love letter discovered after his death. The letter, filled with longing, adoration, and despair, speaks to a love that was both all-consuming and ultimately unfulfilled. While the identity of the immortal beloved remains a subject of speculation, the letter provides a glimpse into the composer's emotional life, revealing a man capable of great love and tenderness, even as he battled the demons of his own deafness and the social constraints of his time. Beethoven's search for love, for connection, for a soulmate who could understand and embrace the complexities of his genius, adds another layer of depth and humanity to the portrait of this extraordinary artist. As the 19th century dawned, Beethoven's music took on a bolder, more dramatic character. He stretched the classical forms he had inherited from Haydn and Mozart, infusing them with a new level of emotional depth and expressive power. His compositions became symphonies of the soul, reflecting his own struggles, his triumphs, and his unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. He experimented with dissonance and unexpected harmonic shifts, creating a sense of unease and tension that resolved into moments of breathtaking beauty. His melodies, no longer content to simply charm the ear, soared to new heights of expressiveness, conveying a wide range of emotions, from the depths of despair to the heights of ecstatic joy. Beethoven's innovations extended beyond the realm of melody and harmony. He expanded the size and scope of the orchestra, introducing new instruments and pushing existing ones to their limits. He demanded more from his musicians, not just technical proficiency, but also an understanding of the emotional weight his music carried. He saw the orchestra as an instrument capable of expressing the full range of human experience, from the quietest whisper of the soul to the most thunderous outpouring of emotion. In doing so, he created a new language of sound, one that would influence generations of composers to come. The period from 1803 to 1812 is often referred to as Beethoven's heroic period. During this time, he produced some of his most powerful and enduring works, symphonies that captured the spirit of a world in turmoil, a world grappling with revolution, war, and the enduring struggle for freedom and self-expression. The Symphony No. 3 in E-flat major, Op. 55, known as the Eroica, was originally dedicated to Napoleon Bonaparte, whom Beethoven initially admired as a champion of liberty. However, when Napoleon declared himself Emperor of France, Beethoven, disillusioned by what he saw as a betrayal of revolutionary ideals, famously tore up the dedication page. Despite its shift in dedication, the Eroica Symphony remains a monumental work, a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. Its themes of struggle, triumph, and ultimate victory resonate deeply with audiences even today, reminding us of the enduring power of hope in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. This period also saw the creation of other iconic symphonies, each a masterpiece in its own right. The Symphony No. 4 in B-flat major, Op. 60, offered a moment of lyrical respite from the grandeur of the Eroica, while the Symphony No. 6 in F major, Op. 68, known as the Pastoral, celebrated the beauty and tranquility of nature. In 1824, Beethoven unveiled his final symphonic masterpiece, the Symphony No. 9 in D minor. This monumental work transcended the boundaries of the symphony, ushering in a new era of artistic possibility. The Ninth Symphony is a work of unparalleled ambition and scope. Its final movement, with its groundbreaking incorporation of a chorus and vocal soloists, elevates it to legend. The chorus's triumphant declaration of Alle Menschen werden Brüder resonated deeply with audiences. The Ninth Symphony premiered in Vienna on May 7, 1824, to an audience overwhelmed with emotion. Beethoven, by this point completely deaf, could not hear the thunderous applause. Yet, he had created a symphony for the ages, a testament to the power of the human spirit. Late style and innovation, a final burst of creativity. Even as his hearing deteriorated, Beethoven's creative fire burned brightly. His late works reveal remarkable introspection and a willingness to push musical boundaries. Freed from public performance constraints, he explored new sonic landscapes. His late string quartets are profound, challenging, and emotionally deep. These works challenged the very notion of what music could be. Beethoven's late piano sonatas reveal a composer unafraid to experiment. These works offer a glimpse into the soul of a man grappling with his own mortality. This final burst of creativity solidified Beethoven's place as a true innovator. Beyond the silence, Beethoven's enduring impact. On March 26, 1827, Ludwig van Beethoven breathed his last. He was just 56 years old. Vienna mourned the loss of its adopted son, a musical giant. Thousands lined the streets to pay their respects, but Beethoven's legacy extended far beyond Vienna. His music transcended cultural and linguistic barriers. His influence on subsequent generations of composers was profound. His music became a cornerstone of the Western canon. Beethoven's greatest triumph lies in his ability to connect with us on a deeply human level. The Symphony of Influence, Beethoven's enduring mark on music. Beethoven's impact on the trajectory of Western classical music is undeniable, a force as potent and enduring as his iconic Fifth Symphony. He didn't just compose within the existing structures of his time. He shattered them, forging a new path that countless composers would follow. His willingness to experiment, to embrace dissonance, to expand the very architecture of a symphony, transformed the musical landscape. Think of the Romantic composers who followed in his wake. Schubert, Schumann, Brahms, their works imbued with a depth of emotion, a sense of drama and grandeur that echoed Beethoven's innovations. He showed them that music could be more than just pleasing melodies. It could be a visceral expression of the human experience, a tempest of emotions capable of shaking the soul. And it wasn't just the Romantics who felt his influence. Even the revolutionary composers of the 20th century, like Stravinsky and Schoenberg, who seemingly broke from tradition, acknowledged a debt to Beethoven's boldness, his willingness to challenge the status quo and redefine what music could be. In many ways, Beethoven's influence can be seen as a continuous thread woven through the tapestry of Western music, connecting generations of composers across time and style. His fingerprints are everywhere, a testament to the enduring power of his genius. Beethoven's influence on art and culture. Beethoven's genius extended far beyond the concert hall, seeping into Western art and culture. His music, with its emotional intensity and themes of struggle and triumph, inspired artists, writers and thinkers. Romantic writers like Goethe, Schiller, Byron and Shelley found a kindred spirit in Beethoven's music. Painters like Caspar David Friedrich and J.M.W. Turner sought to capture the emotional intensity of his symphonies. Beethoven's influence on art and culture transcends language and time, speaking to the human spirit. Walk down a bustling city street, step into a crowded cafe, or even turn on the radio, and chances are you'll hear a familiar strain of Beethoven. His music, once confined to the grand concert halls of Europe, has infiltrated every corner of the modern world, its universality undeniable. It's the soundtrack to countless films and television shows, used to evoke a sense of drama, triumph, or romantic longing. It's sampled by hip-hop artists, remixed by DJs, and reimagined by musicians across genres. It's even used in advertising, its iconic melodies now synonymous with everything from coffee to cars. But it's not just the ubiquity of his music that speaks to its enduring relevance. It's the way it continues to resonate with people from all walks of life, regardless of age, background, or musical preference. There's something about the raw emotion, the soaring melodies, the sheer power of his compositions that transcends cultural and linguistic barriers, tapping into a shared human experience. In a world often fragmented by difference, Beethoven's music stands as a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. Its timeless melodies offering a sense of connection and solace. It's a testament to the enduring power of great art to transcend time and place, to speak to something profound within us all. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony enshrines a message of unity and brotherhood. The Ode to Joy, an anthem for humanity, celebrates hope and solidarity. It marked the fall of the Berlin Wall, the end of apartheid in South Africa, and is the anthem of the European Union. Its true power lies in resonating with individuals. Despite our differences, we are united by shared humanity. Beethoven's message of unity is more relevant than ever. From the quiet banks of the Rhine to the grand concert halls of Vienna, Beethoven's journey was one of extraordinary talent, unwavering determination, and the transformative power of music. He didn't simply inherit a musical legacy, he redefined it, pushing the boundaries of what was possible and forever altering the course of Western music. Imagine the world without Beethoven's symphonies, his sonatas, his concertos, a world deprived of their emotional depth, their dramatic intensity, their sheer sonic brilliance. It's a testament to his genius that we can barely conceive of such a world, so deeply embedded is his music in the fabric of our culture. His story is a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity, to find beauty even in the face of profound loss. His deafness, rather than silencing him, seemed to amplify his voice, pushing him to explore new depths of expression, to create music that transcended the limitations of his physical world. Beethoven's legacy is not just a collection of masterpieces. It's a living, breathing force that continues to inspire us, to challenge us, to remind us of the power of music to touch the soul. Beethoven's life and music reveal a genius grappling with personal demons, a revolutionary spirit challenging the status quo, an artist pouring his soul into his work. His struggles and triumphs resonate deeply with us all. In his deafness, we see the human spirit's ability to adapt and overcome. In his music, we hear the echo of our own joys and sorrows. Beethoven's life reminds us that true genius often emerges from challenge. Embrace struggles, find inspiration, and never give up on passion.